Alright? We're going to start out by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem, Rakak Wadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the Akim out there pushing the word, sincerity, and the truth. It's the brothers from GMS Atlanta. We got a quick lesson for you, Akim, going into how all truths lead to the scriptures. Alright? Everybody that basically has a concept of truth, the fullness of basically the knowledge of spirituality, so to speak. All these different things come from the Bible, man.
That's right.
Directly or indirectly. Even going back to these ancient philosophers, these ancient individuals that had certain principles, morality principles, and certain virtuous principles that they actually established their congregation upon. A lot of times they got it from the scriptures, man. They read certain epistles of Paul. They read about the Yahweh Shah. They read about the wise proverbial sayings that he spoke about. And a lot of times they just remixed it, man.
Right.
Same thing now. You listen to these modernized rappers and these modernized singers, and they get their style, they get their whole delivery, they get their whole approach from the previous greats, so to speak, the Jay-Z's, the Tupacs, the Nas's. But if you didn't hear or listen to Nas and Tupac, you didn't listen to Jay-Z or Big, the so-called sages, the rap sages at that time, and you listen to these J. Cole's and Kendrick Lamar's, you would think that they established that style, man.
Yeah.
But they listened to these individuals, and they got the style, and they got they soaked up game, and they basically, learned certain things, and then they dished it out onto the people. And it's the same thing with these certain other individuals, all these different individuals that speak about the truth, and they may have a lot of truth in certain things that they speak about. It all comes from the scriptures, man, because the scriptures is that's why the scriptures is known as the Bible. The word Bible goes into biblios, which means a composition of books. All right, you have books of philosophy, so to speak. All right, which is the proverbs and things of that nature. Which is the word philosophy goes into love of wisdom. All right, you have the book of history, the books of history. All right, you have the Genesis, which is the beginning. All right, you have and various the apocalyptic, which is the book of Revelations. You have the letters of Paul, so on and so forth. So you have in this one book, you have literally hundreds of genres, man. Even when you look at these movies, you have action. You will have thriller. You will have suspense. The scriptures has all these things in it, man. The scriptures is the book of thriller. The scriptures is the book of action. The scriptures is the book of suspense, so-called horror. You want to say something?
Yeah, if I could say that too, is because the Lord works in the balance. He works through a balance. You got good, you got evil, you got up, you got down.
That's right.
And that's the scriptures.
Yep, you got hot, cold.
Yeah, hot, cold. You got wrong and right.
Wrong, right. Yep. Superheroes and villains. Because when you read the scriptures, who's the superhero? Jacob and Esau. That's why even when we watch all these different movies, brothers can extract the spirituality of them because everything comes from the truth, man. The Lord's DNA, so to speak, or his established word has been already planted in this earth, but all these different things already led into the book. The Most High composed a book that has the fullness of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to make man upright, man.
That's right.
This is the matter of fact, and I'm gonna start with this scripture. Matter of fact, if a brother can get that James 1:21, and after that we'll read that in Proverbs. Because this is of a major importance, man. You have a lot of different people that's in these different religious groups. In Islam, and Christianity, our people embrace Catholicism and things of that nature, which a lot of them already, they read the Bible, but certain things like Islam and things of that nature, they believe that Islam and these other philosophies and styles of life is the way. But even when you go into the origins of Islam and you go into the origins of majority of these religions, they started off from the Bible, man. They all... Hey, going back to Ishmael. Ishmael was one of the sons of Abraham. Abraham is the religions of Abraham are known as the Abrahamic religions, which is if I'm not mistaken, is Islam. You have Christianity, and you have Catholicism, man. Those are really the Abrahamic religions. I could look it up, just to make sure that I'm correct. But those are really the religions that was established through the faithful father Abraham, and so on and so forth. Mormonism, all these different religions, whatever Episcopal, Freemasonry. You have these different 33rd, like the Islam. All these different 33rd degrees and these different styles of masonry, or these different degrees in masonry. All of them get their choice wisdom from the truth, man.
Yeah.
And you can read that in James.
All right, this is James. You said
1:21.
1:21. This is James chapter 1, verse 21. Wherefore lay apart all filthiness and superfluity of naughtiness, and receive with meekness the engrafted word, which is able to save your soul.
Yeah, and that's the Holy Bible, man. The Bible is the engrafted word that is able to save your soul. This is the only book that you can subscribe into and learn from, so that you can actually be saved, to receive redemption and salvation. And when you first eat and you actually extend your soul unto this word, that's how you begin in life, so to speak, life everlasting. It first starts by drinking and lapping from these waters, these living waters, man. And as you continue in them, that's why when you read in Genesis, it speaks about how Adam was basically a regular mortal, but the Most High established in him what? The wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and he made that man upright. So he gave him what? The principles, and he gave him moral structure. He gave him a dietary law, all these different laws and principles that you read in Leviticus. All right, he gave him the phases of life that will make him superior and structure him above all the people in his realm, man. That's why you had the three classifications of individuals, which was the sons of men, the sons of God, and the sons of the wicked. What made Adam more righteous than the individuals that was around him in the world? The laws. Because when you read about the Levitical laws from Genesis to Deuteronomy, you have civil law, how to deal with your brethren, how to deal with the land, how to deal with your cattle, which is your beasts, how to deal with your food, which is the dietary law, Leviticus 11, Deuteronomy the 14th chapter, personal hygiene, cleanliness and uncleanliness, how to deal with the poor of the people. All right, taxation, how to actually eat, which is economics, how to have a structured form of economics amongst the people. So this is the embodiment of life right here. That's why it's known as the Book of Life. It's not just one thing. This book, like when you look at a tree is not just this one body. It's called a tree, but when you have people that actually study on the tree, it's broken up into so many parts. You have the root system, you have the branches, you got so much that actually the leaves, so on and so forth. It's so much the trunk. It's so much that comes with this tree, and this was the word known as the tree of life. There's so much that comes with this complex tree of life that's known as we call it simply the Bible, but it's so much energy that comes in this book. So you can read it over.
Okay. This is John chapter.
And if I can say one thing, matter of fact, get that in Psalms 12:6, because knowing that you have to constantly dip yourself and constantly baptize yourself in these waters. This isn't just one baptism where you could just dive in the mall, you done with the Bible. You constantly diving into these waters. You constantly purifying and cleansing your mind through the washing of the water of this word. You can go ahead.
This is John chapter 1, verse 21. Wherefore lay apart all filthiness and superfluity.
Right, and the filthiness comes from what? The lust of the world, the styles of this world that actually drive your mind unto destruction, wickedness. And that's these different people. These people that don't believe in this truth, they follow what? The left hand side.
And other doctrines.
Yep, these other doctrines.
The other gods, powers.
And essentially it all leads to death. Because say for instance, 2/3 of our people, they don't believe in this truth, and they want to follow their style of living, which we just went into how when you read Leviticus, the 11th chapter, it tells you how to eat. and things of that nature. Why? Because a certain dietary custom can actually extend your life and rid your body of sicknesses. Now, 2/3 of our people don't want to adhere unto the words, and that's why they have high blood pressure, they have gout, they have sickle cell and things of that nature. They have mental illnesses, deficiencies. All right, they just jacked up on the whole. Gallstones. It's thousands of diseases, and if they were to keep the dietary laws and follow the true paleo diet, which is the diet of the scriptures, then they would actually be able to avoid all these things, man.
Right, or even basically obeying your parents. The scriptures speak on if you obey your parents, it prolong your life. And what we have nowadays are people just disrespecting their parents. Like you didn't come from them through the Lord.
Yep, a high level of disobedience.
Yeah,
and that's the reason why. See, disobeying your parents is not just simply you don't regard your parents. When you don't regard your parents, you don't regard the authority, man. You actually go in life and you disregard the cops. You disregard the forces or the powers that be. And where does that lead you? In the prison. That's the reason why these prison centers are fully, populated by 2/3 of our people, because it started from the inception, man.
That's right.
If they would establish themselves upon the scriptures, going back to the law, the simplicity of the law, if they would have followed the structures of the law, then they wouldn't be in this predicament. They would actually have eternal and everlasting life. But through wicked imaginations and vain thoughts, thoughts of vanity, that's the reason why we're in the situation that we're in now. And now what we're doing is climbing out of the hole, because right now we're in this pit, man. We're in this pit that our people dug and from breaking the law, statutes, and commandments, and it ultimately deviated us from our power, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah. So we have to constantly dig into this word, pray unto Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah, cleanse and purify our souls so that we could climb up out of this pit to reach the top, man. You can keep going.
It says, I'm going to just start from the top. This is James 1:21. Wherefore lay apart all filthiness and superfluity of naughtiness, and receive with meekness.
Which the word meekness goes into humility. You got to be humble when you come into these words too. That's another thing too. What's the byproduct of pride? You don't want to listen. You don't want to take correction, and you want to learn the hard way. This truth is the easiest way to learn, man. Scripture says, bow your head unto wisdom. What you want to say?
It's a lot. But that's going into what the brother was speaking on just a moment ago, man. Like, people not want to listen to their parents, that you refuse authority. So therefore, what the brother's speaking on, that's how things, from that, that's a trickle down effect.
That's right. And the scriptures is so solid, and when it was in its prime, so to speak, when we could actually follow the laws, when individuals didn't want to cooperate with the word, we had full authority to take them out of the world, man. Basically take them out of existence. And that's a righteous thing. When a woman commits adultery, when a man commits homosexuality, those laws are worthy of death. Now, when you kill an individual that commits adultery, you know what that does to everybody in society? That humbles them down. That puts fear in their heart. Nobody wants to commit homosexuality or adultery anymore. What does that make? That makes women stay at home. That makes them stop wanting to run around and get into that gossip and get into them seducing spirit. That makes them want to just take care of their husband and make sure that they're in the good regards. And that actually structures a good family structure, man.
Right.
What you want? Oh, my bad. And like now, you have these women that say, "Well, you insecure." If women if law and judgment wasn't slapped, men wouldn't even have to be insecure.
Right.
They would know that at the end of the day, my woman is doing what she's supposed to do, and if she's not supposed to do it, if she's not doing what is required to her, you would have the elders, you would have men of the nation that would actually observe what she's doing, and they would put reports on her. All right, and she get judged accordingly. But you go ahead, bro. What you want to say?
No, I was just gonna say, even with children who don't obey their parents, according to the scriptures, they're supposed to be taken to the gates and stoned. And if other kids see that, you know what I'm saying, they will obey their parents.
Yeah, because your whole thing is, I just seen a child, 9 years old, get his head bashed in with a gigantic stone. That's something that will traumatize you.
Mm-hmm.
Your whole thing is talking to your parents in the most respectful, yes sir, no ma'am. You would naturally embrace your parents, and you would want to be what? In good case. Because you know the consequences. You understand what? You get guidelines. That's why the Bible is a book of boundaries. It shows you the lines that you're supposed to walk. Lines are for protection. Just like when you riding on a highway, those lines aren't there just for the hell of it.
Decoration.
They're there so that you won't get into a car accident. Just think about if the highway didn't have no guidelines. You know how many the wrecks will be so much higher? Hey, just think if you didn't have no red light or green light. You could just drive off free will. You know how many car accidents, how many fatalities would be in the world due to that? Because when there's law, there's order. When there's no law, there's anarchy.
Yeah. Self-willness.
Self-willness. So that's what the Bible is all about. The Bible is a book of boundaries and righteous laws and principles to keep our people on the right track. The reason why our people are at the bottom of the totem pole under all people is because they're not on the right track. What's the track? The law, statutes, and commandments. That's the straight gate. Beautiful. You got it? You got some more on that?
Let's see. And receive with meekness the engrafted word.
Yeah, and the word is engrafted. All right, it's engrafted in this book, and it was given to Moses from the divine hand of Yahweh. Yahweh. With that Exodus 31 and 18, it said it was written with the pen of the Most High. The Most High created this world. He knows what your body needs to sustain. He knows you're not supposed to eat pork for a reason. He didn't even design your body to consume pork.
Right.
He didn't design your body to consume shrimp. It's not like, okay, the hell with taste buds, man. It's all about what you need, man.
Yeah. That's not why he put it here.
That's
for
right.
you to eat it. You know?
That's right. And our people, they have those, like I was speaking about earlier, about the vain imaginations. And like my brother was going into, we was dialoguing about it earlier, how the creatures subject unto vanity, man. They subject unto uselessness, which is what? The lust of the flesh. We supposed to be lusting after the spirit. Because when the Lord planted us here, he gave Adam law, statutes, and commandments. He said, be fruitful and multiply. So first thing initially, he told him to get with a woman and produce. Produce seed. All right. When you read about Adam had a proper dietary custom, so to speak. He ate natural foods from the earth. All right. He was it was harmony.
He even made names according to what they were made or what they were put here for.
Yep. He named the cattle. He named the beasts. He knew what was to be consumed. He knew what was not to be consumed. Everything was in complete harmony. But like what's that? Wisdom of Solomon, where it speaks about through envy of the devil came death into the world. You get envy of Potiphar, because that's really ultimately what happened. Is through envy of the devil, starting off with Eve, trying to basically get the learn the knowledge of good and evil. And that knowledge through good and evil is a temporary fulfillment. You may eat it and it may taste good when you first bite into it. But when it digests, what does it do to the body? It breaks the body down. It deconstructs you. It sickens you. That's that poison. That's the point. That's why he was known as a serpent, because the bite. All right, the bite it coursed through basically, and it eroded the world as you know it. That's how death came into the world, and that's why the job of the prophets, the men of the Lord, is to do what? Reintroduce the apple on the right hand side, which is the word of Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shah. But you go ahead.
So I'm gonna finish off and then I think you want me to pull Isaiah. Come. This is to finish off on James chapter 1 verse 21, which is able to save your soul.
Yep. And this word is able to save our souls. This is what's gonna get us back into our state as being fully Yasha Allah. All right. Before we was Yasha Allah, the princes of the power. You spoke about how Noah had dominance over the animals. At his commandment, at the snap of a finger, all the animals obeyed. They listened. He had a level of rapport with the world.
Mm-hmm.
We had a level of rapport with the world. Our senses was exercised. That was a high level of exercising of senses in that time, man. We knew how to take care of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
We knew how to take care of our people.
Mm-hmm.
We knew how to take care of ourselves. We knew how to take care of our women. We knew how to take care of our children. That's why we were what? The princes of the power. We embodied Yahweh on earth. We embodied the angels and the spirit in the heavens on earth, man. That's why when you read in the scriptures, it speaks about the oldest man that ever lived was Methuselah, man. He lived 969 years old, man. He didn't live 969 years old busting guns and being a big boy nigga in the world. He lived 969 years old following the law, statutes, and commandments and doing that which is Torah, which is good in the Hebrew, man.
Mm-hmm. And he wasn't eating all types of defiled foods, you know, and not to go too far off topic, you know, but Esau is to blame for that.
Esau is to blame for that. Going back to the serpent, I got a precept to go into that, and then we'll get that in our Proverbs. This is Wisdom of Solomon 2 and 22, 21. Such things they did imagine and were deceived, for their own wickedness have blinded them. Verse 22. As for the mysteries of the Most High, they knew them not, neither hoped they for the wages of righteousness, nor discerned a reward for blameless souls. For the Most High created man to be immortal, and made him to be an image of his own eternity. Nevertheless, through envy of the devil came death into the world, and they that do hold of his side do find it. Now we have ample amount of examples of individuals that tried to work in cahoots and cohesiveness with the devil, and they fell from that. They fell from the grandeur. Going back to who? Adam. You know, this is the spirit of, we're going into the truth. All directions lead to the truth. But the truth really started with Adam. And that's how we fell. And this is how we're coming back into our stead, is reattaching ourselves unto this word of Yahweh Shem Yahushua through the second Adam, the greater Adam, which is who? Yahushua. Because the first Adam, like I said, envied the devil. Through what? Eve. All right, he listened to the suggestion of Eve, which was to eat of that tree of life. And what happened? Death sprang into the world. When you read in the scriptures, the lifespan shot down greatly.
Tremendously.
900 years, 800 years, 700, 600, 5. Now, it's a miracle for Jake to reach 90, man.
40.
Yeah, 40. They're 21, man.
And you know, Esau bring out a lie telling you that people are over 120 years old. Ain't nobody living past 120. Lord has set a bound.
Hey, say for instance you do reach 120. You know how jacked up your body is? When you read about Moses reached the age of 120. It said that his eyes didn't even dim, man. You got people nowadays, they got dentures. They got wrinkled skin, arthritis,
sunken eyes.
They bones is brittle. They can hardly talk. These old folks, they be reaching 60 years old. They be talking slow as hell. Speech impediments. They mind shrunk. They vigorous is stripped from them. Hey, when you read about Noah was dealing with rips at a high age. Abraham and Sarah had a child at 100 years old, man. We was on a level back then, man.
On a level, bro.
And that's why it's imperative. It's imperative for us to stay into this word, stay into this book of life, man. Because this is going to be the only way that we can structure ourselves and structure our people. This is what makes man upright. When you read in Ezekiel, the valley of the shadow of bones, this is how the bones and the sinews and the whole structure of man came together because of the word of Yahweh Shem Yahushua.
Right.
So finishing with that, it says, nevertheless, through envy of the devil came death into the world, and they that do hold of his side do find it. So our initial job is to stay away from the devil. Who is the devil? The deception is, just like the brother said, flee. Flee from the devil, which is the so-called white man. Because the so-called white man is the master of presenting opportunities. Look at these niggas today, man. They get these $1 million contracts. They think they made it to the kingdom of heaven.
Yeah.
And then what happened? They die broke. Look at Bill Cosby. Hey, if you look up Bill Cosby's net worth, his net worth is possibly $700-800 million, man. $1 billion. He has probably $1 billion net worth.
Mm-hmm.
But look at how he fell. He fell hard. Michael Jackson, he fell hard. Prince, he fell hard. Whitney Houston, he fell hard. All these different individuals, even though they were structured and they thought that the devil was working on the side, the devil just put them all the way up just to drop them on their head, man.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to stay away from this devil. Hey, when Satan was coming to Yahweh Shai, he was trying to give him the world. Well, Yahweh Shai took that deal down, man.
Yeah.
Lord didn't want that bullshit. He wanted the world for his people.
Mm-hmm.
What it says, Satan came and took. Matter of fact, I'll probably get that, Lord willing, but it speaks about how Satan took him to the hilltop and said, all these things shall be yours if you just bow down. Lord was like, man, the hell what you saying?
Glory.
You and your Roman glory, I don't want that.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, he was like, this kingdom is mine any dang way, man. I ain't even come for to fully receive the kingdom in that stead, so to speak. I came to receive it in the spiritual way by sacrificing myself for the redemption of his
God.
He knew what he came down here for. He didn't come here to stunt.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't come down here to be joint rulership with the Caesars.
God.
He came here to redeem his people, and that's the job of us men of the Lord. We're down here for a mission.
Yeah, Yahweh Shai knew his mission, and he didn't let anything knock him off that straight gate.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and we got to be that same way, man. We got to follow that path and not fall over into that deep water or that fire.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
that's right. You got some
What was it?
Proverbs 8:20. I mean Isaiah 8:20.
Yeah, come. This is Isaiah chapter 8, verse 20. To the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them.
Yeah, it says to the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them. The light represents the truth.
Okay.
So if you're not speaking in perfect harmony with these words, then there's no truth in you. Point blank, period, man. It don't matter how you articulated the spin and all the pizzazz and the zestiness that you drop on top of your delivery. It's bullshit. It's bullshit cake with whipped cream, man.
Yeah, and it tastes like shit.
Yeah, but you bite into it.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, it's shit. It just got whipped cream on it.
Yeah.
It got sprinkles. You may taste the sprinkles. You might taste all that, but at the end of the day, you biting into bullshit.
Mm.
And that's 2/3 of our people. It sounds graphic, but that's what our people are eating.
Yeah.
That's the life that our people are eating.
Mm-hmm.
And they glory in the whipped cream.
Yeah.
They look, man, you see how good that whipped cream tastes? They disregard the fact that you eating shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They be like, it was shitty, but that whipped cream was good.
What's that saying in the world? You don't think your shit stink?
Yeah.
That's these people, man.
Yep.
Outkast got that song that roses really smell like doo doo.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know
So because it's all about the smell.
Yeah.
And that's beautiful. You put that out because when you go into that whole concept of that song, it was metaphorical, going into how roses are really beautiful flowers and they're appeasing, but they really don't smell as they look.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing with this world. This world isn't what it looks, man.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you might see the fashionable cars, you might see the luxury life, the life for the rich and famous. Man, this whole world is done, man. This is the way we're going to get out of here and reach paradise. This is not our paradise, man.
Yeah.
2/3 of our people, really, the whole nation of our people, we're not in paradise. Our beasts, these animals really belong to us.
Yeah.
When you see these animals getting shot down and these animals, all these whales consuming all this plastic, that's a part of our creation. Through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai, that's an extension of our ownership.
Mm-hmm.
We're Yasha'Allah, princes of the power. As a prince, you have dominance.
Yeah, we had dominance over the animals in the time of Adam.
That's right. Those are our possessions.
Mm-hmm.
So our job is to primarily fight for the world, man.
That's right, bro.
Fight for possession of the world, so everything will work. Hey, these heathens belong to us, man.
Mm-hmm.
Our possessions are actually ruling over us.
Mm-hmm.
Our possessions are possessing us.
Yeah.
So everything has been deconstructed and retwisted, man. So that's why it's, like I said earlier, it's imperative. It's very, very important for us to fight, man. Fight to get this upside down world right side up. Because as soon as we do that, through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai, that's when everything will be perfect. Everything will be laid clean. It won't be no more stress in the world. You read in Revelation, it speaks about in the kingdom of heaven, it won't even be no tears, man. Nobody won't have to cry. It ain't gonna be like in the kingdom of heaven, you're gonna fall and see a ghetto. All right, you're gonna be going down the street and you see one of your people hooked on crack. It's gonna be a 0% drug rate.
That's right.
0% prostitution. All right, everything gonna be perfect. 0% adultery.
Mm-hmm.
Our people gonna be perfect in the kingdom of heaven. We're looking to reach perfection, man. And it starts now. It starts with this truth. But you can keep going.
Can I bring a
you bring it
up? Bible shot pertaining to what you were just saying. Okay. This is Isaiah 65:17. It says, "For behold, I create new heavens and a new earth, and the former shall not be remembered nor come into mind."
Yeah, that word "new" goes into kainos. I gotta look it up in the Hebrew. Matter of fact, there was the Isaiah 65.
Yeah, 65 verse 17.
Right, because in the Greek, the word kainos is renewed, but in the kingdom of heaven, really, when you go into the newness of heaven too, everything's gonna go back to Genesis, man.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's gonna go back to the Garden of Eden.
Yep.
Isaiah 65:17.
Come.
Let me look that up real fast. Give me a quick second. Bear with me.
Yeah, like the brother was saying, man. Everything when we get to the kingdom, we're not going to be reminiscing on the time that we had here in Babylon. You know? Yeah. You know, there's going to be a vain image.
Yeah. Like when you read that in our Psalms, it speak about when we remember the captivity of Zion, it's like we dream dreams, because this is ultimately a nightmare, man. We're looking to shake out of this shit, man. Fight to break out of this nightmare. So that we can do what? Receive the fullness of the dream, which is the kingdom of heaven, man. We read about the kingdom of heaven, about how the Jerusalem is going to be paved with gold. Yahweh Shai is going to set crown upon a righteous man's head. The lion and the wolf going to dwell together with the lamb. Women are going to be in subjugation, calling us Lord. We're going to actually love our women.
Yeah.
We're going to be able to really embrace our children. We can't embrace our children on this side, man.
No, man.
Because our children don't belong to us. Our children be talking shit.
Yeah. If a brother got kids and he worked, he got to send them all to a public school or a daycare.
Yeah.
You know, who knows what's going on in there.
And then,
you know,
you just had this one situation, this chick sent the child to the daycare. That child was like,
a year
or 2 years old. His whole face bloodied up.
Yeah.
It's all kind of matters that happen in them daycares. They're around nothing but demon kids in them daycares. I got that word in the new in the Hebrew. The word new in Hebrew is kadash, which means to be new, renew, repair. So this world is going to be repaired. The word repair means to pare back. Meaning back. Pair is to basically put it in togetherness. And how is that going to be formulated? By the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai.
That's right.
Yahweh Shai actually coming to cleanse this world. You read that also in Ezekiel. How all these factories, all these cars, all this stuff is going to be broken down, man. Hey, it tells you in the law how all these idols got to be broken down. We're going to literally break this whole world down and structure it all over again. Righteously. Upon clean technology. There's going to be technology in the kingdom of heaven, but it's going to be cohesive with the universe. It's not going to be like Esau's technology where you got smog all over the world. It's actually killing people.
Yeah, Esau creates technology and wickedness to harm people. You know, we got chemtrails. You know, we got like you were saying, smog coming from cars,
air pollution, light pollution, water,
GMO food.
Yeah. So that's what we're looking for, the world to be paired over, man. Scripture says that in Peter, we look for a new heaven and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness.
That's right.
In order to look, we have to, this is really how we look. Going into this word, searching this word, studying and inspecting in this word and putting it out on wax, so to speak, putting it out on the internet, man. Teaching and giving people the insight on the kingdom of heaven so that they can subscribe. And the ones that subscribe, they're going to be the builders. Just like when you read in Nehemiah, the first thing Nehemiah and Ezra's with the rebuilding of the temple, they got the men of the Lord that was willing to structure the temple, and that's when they went to work.
Yeah.
The ones that was willing. All right, after the authorization of Cyrus, if I'm not mistaken, they got the willing hands, and they got together and they built the temple, man. So it's the same thing now. The willing hands are the ones that's building the temples, and the ones that's gonna build the temple is gonna be the ones that's gonna be able to eat at the temple.
Through the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah.
Through the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah.
Mm-hmm.
You got something?
Yeah, this is going into basically what the brothers are saying. It's still all the scriptures tied together, because at the end of the day, like the brothers saying, like we putting this out on wax, and we say this boldly, man. Like either with people coming on the comment boards, we don't give a fuck if you people don't believe. Like you can't confound us at the end of the day.
Okay.
Like prove us wrong, man.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Prove us wrong. Prove that the prophecies are wrong.
Right.
Like prove that this is not valid. This is 1 Peter chapter 2 verse 6. Wherefore also it is contained in the scripture, behold, I lay in Zion a chief cornerstone, elect, precious, and he that believeth on him shall not be confounded. And that's, we believing on Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah, man. Ba'ashem Rakakodash. Like everything that cornerstone is Yahweh Shah, man. This is who it's all. This book was written about Yahweh Shah and the people, his 144,000, man.
That's right.
And Lord willing, we be of that number, man.
Yeah.
If the Lord deem us worthy, that we won't be confounded in this, man. And I went to the precept for the word confounded. I'm gonna pull it up again.
I got it in the Greek.
Okay, go ahead.
The word in the Greek is kataskuno, which is to dishonor, disgrace, to put to shame, make ashamed.
Yeah, and you people try to put us to shame, but really, we profess this boldly, and we're not ashamed. We're not ashamed of the truth, man. We're not ashamed of Yahweh Shah, man. You people will be found confounded, man. You people can't come up and just dispute the scriptures. You people can't dispute the prophecies. We came in on slave ships. You see that the water's polluted, the air is polluted, your food is polluted. Prove us wrong.
Right.
Are these curses not written in the scriptures?
Yeah.
So we won't be confounded. Everything like that's the reason the Spirit jumped on the brothers to do this lesson, man. Everything reverts back to the scriptures. Everything derives from the scripture. It is the scriptures. Whether it lies on the left or the right hand side.
That's right.
That's true. That's how the balance works, man.
It's a balance. So for you niggas and you motherfuckers on the comment board, they're saying, hey man, you niggas just want to make up something so you guys can feel good about what happened to you in slavery. This is what you need to cope with life. You fucking right. You right. We need this to cope with life because this is for us. Yeah. This is our cover. What's your cover? Where's your God? Where's your proof? Where's your faith?
That's right. You got some more on that scripture? What you got?
You can go.
Okay, we'll close with what you got.
Okay, This is 2 Corinthians chapter 13 and verse 8. It says, for we can do nothing against the truth, but for the truth.
Yeah, and just like the brother said beautifully, is all roads point to the truth at the end of the day. The Lord said that he made, you said that even earlier in the beginning, how the Most High made left, right, hot, cold, good, evil. It don't matter what you're doing, it's still subscribing to the truth. If 2/3 of our people are being demons, it's already written that 2/3 of our people would follow the path of Balaam and Satan and things of that nature. And it said that in the scriptures that the Lord would have 7,000 men that wouldn't bow down to Baal, man. So that's doing what? Everything fulfills prophecy. We're living in the midst of prophecy. Whether you don't want to follow the prophets or you want to follow the prophets, either way you're fulfilling prophecy. The scripture says that there'll be scoffers. If you want to, you have free will to pick your part in a movie. Nevertheless, you win the movie. And just like in the movie, you'll have the regulars, you'll have the good,
the extras.
You had the extras, you had the villains, you had the cameos. You have all these different people that actually come together to make this very complex theatrical movie, so to speak.
The greatest story ever told.
And this is the greatest story ever told, which is the Holy Bible, the scriptures.
God.
Which the word, we always go into the word theater, goes into theos, which means of the Most High, of God. Keep going.
It says, "For we are glad when we are weak, and ye are strong. And this also we wish, even your perfection."
Yeah, because at the end of the day, we all know that everything's for a higher purpose, and that's for the redemption. When we weak, at the end of the day, we got a Savior to pray to give us strength. All right, when we strong, we still got the Savior to pray to continue to keep us strong, man.
All right.
Our power lies in Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. That's how we're gonna overcome this whole thing that we're living in, this system. And that's why the Lord even put us in the situation that we're in now, to cry out, to fight,
build up that faith,
You
know, because in the time that's coming, you know, what we're doing now is actually going to help us make it through.
That's right.
And it boils back to what the brother was saying earlier, man. The Lord created things in a balance. You niggas, you heathens, you 2/3, however you want to see yourselves. You unbelievers, you rely on your thoughts. We rely on our faith, man.
That's right. We rely on prophecy.
Prophecy.
And it's like you people hate this word, but you still in the word. You still actually fulfilling the word. That's actually a good thing. Nothing is evil, so to speak. And I'll rearrange how I'm about to actually put it. But nothing is against the power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Because everything is fulfilling. Just like you said, you can't do nothing against the truth before.
Right.
Everything in its proper balance.
Whether it's the left or the right hand side, it's still either side on the balance of the Lord, man.
That's right.
So, you know, it's some more on that, or that's it?
There's just one more verse.
Okay.
It says, Therefore I write these things, being absent, lest being present I should use sharpness, according to the power which the Lord hath given me to edification and not to destruction.
Yeah, and that's the times that we live in, to edify, to build up the house of Israel upon this truth. Because this is what's been taken away from our people for a number of years. So our job is to do what? Reattach it back onto them. Give them their power, starting off with what? The name. And the guidelines of this truth.
And that Yahweh, while Yahweh Shah is actually dealing with the nation of Israel.
That's right. Know? Yep, Yahshua, and that's the time that we living in, going back to being in our full state, which is the princes of the power. So, that's all you had?
Okay.
You know, that's all we had for you, Akim. Hopefully you brothers was edified. We're going to end it by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom, Akim.
Shalom.